Hey folks, back again with Ancient Cosmography. Um, I found a good quote about the Druids that corresponds to basically all ancient priests, all holy people of the ancient world, is that they discuss and teach youths about the heavenly bodies and their motions, the dimensions of the world and of countries, natural science, and the powers of the immortal gods. So the immortal gods are all these exact things that I just mentioned. Heavenly bodies and the world and countries. Those are the gods, continents, rivers, islands. Um so this is Caesar on the British Druids. So um there you go. I'm basically a druid. I'm probably descended from druids. And I'm basically a druid of sorts, even though I'm just trying to piece together what I can of the traditions. So, I've been checking out this tradition of the Sleeping Bear Dunes of Michigan. So, it seems to me that, there's all these ancient songs and stories about animals and people and hybrid people animals that represent land. And so in this case, it relates not only to those dunes, but also to the nearby islands. The legend of Sleeping Bear Dunes. So relates to this island and this island. And, I think they're kind of admitting here that these islands can look like bears themselves, like that, although with kind of extra pointy noses. That would be one bear's nose, and this would be another bear's nose. And so anyway, the legend of the sleeping bears. And so once long ago in the land called Wisconsin, it's basically about, especially about this, I think. It's about all of this, because I think this is a relatively important strait when you're sailing through between Lake Michigan and Lake Erie or whatnot. And so yeah, it relates to this. It relates to seemingly all three of these things. And so there's all these different versions of the story. And something else I was trying to show, but it's really not possible to find on here. Bear Island. Sleeping Bear Point is a huge mountain of pure white sand that has been accumulating. Top here as passers-by. See, that's why I think this seems to refer to this whole ass thing, whereas there's also traditions about this smaller thing on it. Landscape origin stories. So there's a lot of these landscape origin stories, and the Bible is actually full of them, but people don't know what they are. Like there's things that in the Bible that sounds like it's about people, but it's just the same thing as this. It's explaining geography. There's probably more explaining astronomy. I don't know. There's both. The promontory of sand, a kind of grove that when traveling by. So I think the grove is referring to that part. And so yeah, Lake Michigan, Lake Manitou, the mother bear, mourning over her two drowned cubs. Drowned cubs then float to the... So these are the two drowned cubs, but then they float to the surface as these two Manitou Islands. But it's a way to memorize this part, because you can't sail. If you have a big ship, you will die if you try to sail here. So this is to memorize